start by having you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And then tell me how long you've been in Extension and what kinds of things you do and who you work with.
Okay. Hi, I'm Billy Thomas, an Extension Forester at the University of Kentucky Department of Forestry and Natural Resources. I work primarily with woodland owners and others in the forestry industry.
And how long have you been in Extension for?
I started out in Extension as a county extension agent, and I did that for 3 years, but I've been an Extension Forester for the last 12 years. So.
Okay, great. Is there any piece of advice that kind of sticks out that people gave you in the beginning when you're getting started?
Everything seems important at first, and there are a lot of important issues out there, but I think the best advice I got is keep your eye on the big picture. You know, you got to take care of the small things along the way, but don't let that detract you from the big issues, and take care of those as you go. I think an important thing for any new Extension employee is learning how to lean on others. There's no way you can do it by yourself. You have to build relationships, you have to network, you have to build trust as well. And trust is easy to lose and hard to build. So make sure that you do the things you say you're going to do when you're going to do them.
Do you have any advice for new like extension specialists that are coming in and have kind of, have that terminal PhD and then they're thrown into it? But they're not in the county, they're maybe more at the
Right.
the ivory tower.
Right. Well, I know personally when I started in Extension, I was ready to change the world. I thought I knew exactly what needed to be done, and it really took me a little while to understand that I have to understand what the issues are that the people are facing in your community, whether that's a county or a state level. So make sure you get a good handle on the needs of that community. Make sure that you engage them in your programming. Not only do you want your programming to benefit them, but you want it to make sure that it's stuff that they need and it will help them address issues.
So I've also been asking people since I started now. What can you just explain to me about what your different audiences are like? And you can go a little bit into detail because I think it's valuable to hear about what the different types of audiences are like.
Well, I have the pleasure of working with a wide variety of audiences. My primary audience is private woodland owners. These are individuals, not companies, but individuals and families, and trying to help them manage and care for their wood so that they'll be as healthy as possible. I also work a lot with state agencies, both at the individual field level as well as at the state level from an administration standpoint. I also work with private industry on a number of different fronts, as well as a number of non-governmental organizations. So really have a very diverse audience, and I think by listening and working with these diverse audience, you can gain a much greater understanding of what the issues and challenges are and really where the needs are and where you can have the biggest impact to help your community of interest.
How have you navigated partnerships? And what have you learned from those experiences?
Well, again, I think it comes back to trust. You have to show your partners that you're trustworthy and that you'll follow through on the things that you say you'll do. I think you also have to listen. It's easy to come in at the beginning and think you know all the answers. And while you may be very smart and you may have a good handle on the situation, listening to the clientele and working with them is really one of the best ways you can build trust and really help them out in the long run.
Let's see. Is there any stories that come to mind of like things where you learned a lesson where maybe you messed up and something happened, or even something where something happened that was beyond your control and you had to roll with it?
Right. Well, I think probably the biggest thing I made a mistake on when I started was thinking I knew all the answers. I was a forester by training. I went into a small county that was heavily forested, and I thought they really needed to manage their woods. But what I didn't realize was that agriculture was extremely important, and I didn't really have a solid handle on that. So while I would talk about woods and forest management, they were really much more interested in their field crops or their cattle. And I think by talking about things that they weren't interested in, it really made it a little more challenging for me to build those relationships. But after a little bit of time, I got a better handle on that. I guess the other thing I would learn, it's not a sprint. Extension's a marathon. It's really, we're in this for the long haul. We're not only trying to do good in our job, but we're also trying to make a difference, a positive difference in our communities. And whether it's the environment or practices that people are doing, we really want to help them. So, and that takes time, and it takes working with others. So lean on others, work with others, build relationships, and maintain trust, and you'll go a long way in your extension career.
How do you balance like home or life and then work?
It's certainly a challenge. With extension, you're really never off duty. You're always either at a meeting or thinking about a meeting or thinking about what you need to do. It's easy to work all day and then be expected to have an evening program or a weekend program, and that's a common occurrence. And I think at the beginning, it's easy to try to do every one of those things because you want to be everywhere. I think you do have to strike that balance. You have to communicate openly with your family. You have to make sure that you take care of those family needs as well, because if you don't have a strong foundation at home, you're not going to be as productive in your job.
Okay. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Extension's a great career. It really is. You can not only have a very rewarding career, regardless of your discipline, you can really make the communities and the people that you work with much healthier, much happier, and we can take care of each other.